WWE Bash in Berlin is happening in a few short days, and in today's video I'm going to be predicting the outcome for all 5 matches on the card. Hi, my name is Andy. I'm a wrestling fan from Ghana, West Africa, and if you do like the content on this channel, then please make sure to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and interact with me in the comments, and let's talk about it. I want to start off by talking about the match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions between the Unholy Union, the champions Alba, Fyre, and Isla versus Bianca, Belair, and Jade Cargill. 2/3 of the big three as we've known them since WrestleMania, with Naomi being the third in that mini faction of some kind. I don't even know if it's a mini faction. I think Bianca and Jade winning the titles at Backlash France really started to do some good for what has been a fairly stagnant women's tag team division. They've even had to go to do matches in NXT because that's where the crop is richer in terms of tag team talents for the women's division. Quite frankly, aside the Pure Fusion Collective, that was quite the mouthful to mention, but aside them, maybe Damage Control, Casey Catanzaro, and Katana Chance, I don't really know of any other tag teams that are out there right now. Now I'm going to say this out of the bat, I think that the Unholy Union is going to retain the titles, and I think we are going to see the heel turn of Bianca Belair against Jade Cargill. Ever since Jade Cargill arrived in WWE starting at the Royal Rumble, she has been intrinsically tied to Jade Cargill. It was because of Jade Cargill that Bianca Belair found her way to WrestleMania, or the other way around. It was because of Bianca that Jade made her first WrestleMania appearance. It's also because of Bianca that Jade won her first title in WWE, being the Women's Tag Team Championships. There have been a few teases between them. They've been very subtle. I can point to when they were both trying to qualify for Money in the Bank and Queen of the Ring. And then there was a line that Wade Barrett delivered on commentary on this last episode of SmackDown, talking about how another loss for Bianca Belair would be pretty devastating for her. I think that's what's going to happen. I think Bianca is going to snap. Bianca hasn't been a heel since 2019. I think that's what's going to happen and set off the trajectory for the feud for the rest of the year and even bleeding into next year. And speaking about bleeding, I think they're going to start off with a trilogy of matches starting at Bad Blood. Next, I want to talk about the strap match between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre in the second match of this blood feud. Both men have great chemistry. I know they're trying to work us to thinking they don't like each other, and they actually might not. I'm not even sure of what the dynamic is backstage, but nonetheless, these two are really good together. Their match at SummerSlam was great. I know some people had some gripes with Seth Rollins being involved, and I did too for a bit, but seeing how things played out and seeing what they were modeling the match after, it really did work. Speaking of Seth, I don't think he gets involved in this match. I think he has bigger fish to fry in the form of one big Bronson Reed. So to me, the outcome is quite simple. I think Punk needs to get a win back. The introduction of the strap makes me think of a few scenarios of how this could go, and the one that sticks out to me the most is Royal Rumble 2007, John Cena versus Umaga in the last man standing match, where John Cena had to use the ring rope to make Umaga pass out. I see a situation where Punk does the same using the strap against Drew and causes him to pass out and gets the victory, which might then lead to a situation where Drew comes out and says, hey, you didn't pin my shoulders to the mat, you had the strap to help you out, let's settle this in Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood on October 5th. I really do think this is where it's heading, and I think that's how it should go. Next, we have a mixed tag team match featuring the Terror Twins, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley going up against the New Judgment Days, Dominik, Mysterio, and Liv Morgan. This feud, by far one of the best feuds in WWE, if not the best. Side note, I'm about to release a video on why I think that Liv Morgan is actually not the villain of this Judgment Day story, so be on the lookout for that. This feud has been really hot, and we can all attest to it based on the things that have happened, especially in the last 4 months. But this is another chapter in a feud which has actually lasted more than 2 years, starting with Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. That story has been going on longer than most people would actually think of. This will actually be the second time on a pay-per-view that Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan have faced off in a mixed tag team match. The last time they did it was at Hell in a Cell 2022, Judgment Day versus Liv Morgan, AJ Styles, and Finn Balor. Now, in terms of the outcome, even though I think it's very logical to believe that Finn Balor, Jade, McDonough, and Carlito will get involved in this match, I'm inclined to believing that the Terror Twins will get a win over here. I think it's important for them to do so, although it doesn't take anything away from them if they do lose. But at the same time, if the Terror Twins win, how much would it harm Liv? Because we really don't know where the story is going, in as much as we all know that there's quite a lot of leg left with this. So if I really had to pick, I would say that Dom and Liv should get the win with some chicken you know what moves in order to let them get the victory, which would further build more chapters for them down the road, talking about Bad Blood, talking about Crown Jewel, and even Survivor Series before we see what's next. Next, we have the match for the Undisputed WWE Championship. You have the champion Cody Rhodes defending against his friend Kevin Owens, and this story has been very interesting because of what they've been trying to do with Kevin Owens, you know, teasing subtly that yes, KO has this history of turning on people and he might do the same to Cody. But I think another thing people are not really looking at, and it's something that I see is starting to surface recently, what if Cody actually turns on Kevin Owens? I know it's a bit out there and it's the most unfathomable thing anybody could think of, but Cody has been likened to Anakin from the Star Wars series, and I don't know much about Star Wars. I haven't watched a Star Wars movie. That's going to sound quite atrocious, but it is the truth. I've listened to so many different wrestling podcasts over the last few months, and everybody says the same thing, that at his core, and I think Belair was the one that said this, at his core Cody is actually a heel. It's just nobody really sees it yet, and I think that's why he also referred to him as Anakin from Star Wars. It's something I also think Undertaker has said on his 6 Feet Under podcast. But the problem with turning Cody now is, how do you then do the Randy Orton story? Because Randy Orton would seemingly be taking up for his friend going up against Cody, but really we all know that for the story to work, you need Randy to turn on Cody, and you can't exactly have that if Randy is going to be the face and Cody's the heel. Like, the roles being reversed doesn't really work out properly. I do think the outcome is going to be Cody retaining. I don't think Kevin Owens is going to turn heel. KO is naturally a heel. I think he does some of his best work as a heel. Prize fighter Kevin Owens is an example, but I do think he can be the prize fighter as a babyface. We've seen that, especially in the 3 or 4 matches I think he had with Roman Reigns in his very lengthy title reign. So I don't think Kevin Owens should turn heel despite the outcome of this match. And then in a match which I think will be the main event of Bash in Berlin, you have Gunther defending his World Heavyweight Championship against the Viper Randy Orton, and this is great for so many reasons. First of all, I love this match because they are tying it in to what happened at King and Queen of the Ring back in May. I also think this would be a very good defense as a first for Gunther as a World Heavyweight Champion. Gunther and title reigns have been sensational, spectacular, everything you can actually call it. Now, here's a question I have, and this is a bit of a side one. Is Gunther actually now a 2-time world champion? Because mind you, he was NXT United Kingdom champion, and I don't know if that title is even considered as a world championship. But if you know, please let me know in the comments, because I am quite confused about this. So like I said, great first match to establish the dominance of Gunther as world heavyweight champion, effectively setting the tone for what I think might be one of the lengthiest world heavyweight championship reigns in WWE history. Now, do I want it to go past a year? No, honestly, no. I really don't think it should. However, I also do think this could add some legs to the story with Randy Orton seeking championship gold, because we all see how he's been staring at Cody's undisputed WWE title. We could see that this is some kind of detour for him to avoid facing Cody, but of course, if he doesn't get the job done, he's still going to be hungry for gold. He might come for Cody. The heel turn setup, we can have the first match at Bad Blood. I know it's quite quick and I wonder how we're going to do this, but we will figure it out, especially because Solo Sikoa has also called his shot for whoever wins the match between Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. So I think it's going to be a very interesting ride we have at Bash in Berlin. I do think Gunther retains. And that's everything I think is going to happen at Bash in Berlin. Please do leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Let me interact with you guys. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel if you like my content. Check out this video that YouTube is recommending, and I'll see you in another one. My name is Andy, and I'm signing off.